And we are live. Welcome to the SEO and AI news for week 30. So that's last week. I've gathered all the interesting AI and SEO related news, and we're just going to go through them right now. My name is Frederick Drost. I work at Precies Digital. And yeah, let's just jump right into it here. First up, we've got Google Trends API coming soon, hopefully. I've signed up as a beta tester. I think this could be very good for spotting trends at scale for digital PR. If you're doing keyword research, that's quite interesting as well. If you're spotting downward trends versus upwards, etc. Currently, the only trends we've been able to get is 12-month and through SEMrush, and that is search volume trends from SEMrush. I think HF recently got that too, and again, very limited. It's not as good, and I think it's just by the I would say I've been asking for a Google Trends API for a long time. So good job there. I will keep posting if I get access to it and seeing the outputs. Next up, we have from DGen SEO, we've got a tool called Chunk Norris. You can basically input a text and it will create sections and then chunks, which is kind of how AIs will retrieve content. And so there's retrievability you can look at, but I think it's also a good writing tool. Like it shows you the semantic relevance of sections and different chunks of those, and you can kind of add more to it. I think it's good for visualizing, how AIs kind of retrieve and understand your content. So pretty cool tool, and it's got a lot of fun Chunk Norris quotes. So, so have a look at that, try it. Very good stuff there. And then, of course, another SearchPilot case study. Sorry, looking for the word there. And this time, adding more keywords to your title. Will that help you? Will you rank better for those keywords, etc.? And again, the test here is very specific. We're trying to add related keywords. So, it could be women's dresses, women's stylish dresses, etc., etc. And there was no measurable effect here. I think it's because a lot of times you either have to create a separate page that really answers. If I search for stylish dresses, what does that mean? Well, if you curate something based on people who know what they're doing, that might be worth doing and implementing as a separate page. But if you just add the relevant keywords to the title, well, you're not really getting the results. So just have a look at it. It's just a small, interesting case study there. And then we've got tons of these SEO. Is AI killing SEO? The future of SEO? It feels like a big major shift, but when you actually start working with AI visibility, AI overviews, AI mode, what you realize is we're not really changing that much. So what we're actually doing in terms of work doesn't change. And a lot of these articles are coming out supporting that view. So there's a really huge influx of those types of articles. Here's another one. And again, just have a look. I think it kind of mentions a lot of things I've been talking about here in these videos. But again, the what's in bold here is what's really interesting to me, that it's concluding the new era here, the agentic web, where content is consumed without visits, which forces us to rethink how value is created and how to capture it. And I'm not sure. I think there's what we've been seeing with Google, and I think it has to get better at referencing different content, and I think people won't just simply trust there'll be liability, stuff like that. So I think AI reviews will transition into AI mode, which sounds a little bit more like it's just rearranging results and kind of fanning out queries, but it still will try to drive clicks. So I hope that's where we're going, because the current AI reviews is just really not giving us a lot of clicks here. But again, a lot of these articles, I'll keep sharing them. And speaking of AI mode, there's also Google Web Guide, which has been shared a lot on Twitter between SEO people. Actually, let's have a look at the screenshots here. So very much just rearranging results here. So we've got some guides, videos, and I think this is a good result. This is great. I think we should use AI for this. If we can fan out queries and different medias and then rearrange them as search results, that's great. But if you're just answering my question by synthesizing a bunch of different content everybody has written and spent time on, I think that's very unfair to just answer the question. And that's what Google has to go away from and do this. So I'm quite happy with this web guide feature here. And you can see Glenn Gabe has opted in. And yeah, so hopefully this will be kind of the more future of AI in terms of search. Also, Google has launched 2 new shopping features in the US. Very interesting stuff here. We've got try it on using AI. So apparently you can try on clothing using AI. And the real question we want to ask ourselves is, how are we going to be How can this be enabled for my product feeds? And I think the big question here we'll have to look at is um, your product images. First of all, the quality of them, but also, do you have an image with models? And do you have images with just the clothing? And do you have 3D views? Like, do you have like a bunch of views back and forth? What kind of quality and number of images do you have for your content? I think that'll be fed into it. So how do we get accepted for this? There's really no information about this yet. But I would say just focusing on having a lot of different images with a person wearing them and without is probably what's going to be happening here in terms of feeding this AI feature. So very cool virtual try on here. And then customized priced alerts as well, which is really interesting. Then we've got the PEW research, which also has been doing the rounds here in the SEO space. And Google has even come out and said that it was flawed. But again, that research is showing that AI reviews is significantly reducing referral traffic to websites. And they're complaining, no, we're not. But every study I see, everyone that I know, most of my clients that have a lot of informational content, well, we're losing clicks. So yeah, I'm not seeing why Google will not give us the tools to verify this. And every other study we see, well, tends to go that direction. So I don't know why Google is sticking to their guns. It's super weird. But here's another one. So I'd like to have a look at this. Very interesting study around this. Also, you should index your llms.text page. Fresh reminder, llms.text is a proposal to have this kind of almost like not a robot.txt, but like a weird sitemap for LLMs, maybe showcasing your different sections of the site, etc. Is experimental. Nobody has confirmed using this, but Google says, well, if you're using it, you should index it. I've been telling clients to just put it up because it's super easy to implement, it's super easy to create, very little maintenance. And if somebody's using it, well, so it's kind of a risk-free optimization that doesn't require too much effort, but index it. Then we've got some really interesting stuff here from Brody Clark, explaining where the Google search data comes from when it comes to reporting in Search Console. Again, Brody, follow him on Twitter because he just comes with these really good tips. And again, it looks very long, but when you read it, it makes a lot of sense. And this screenshot really summarizes really well how we're looking at, well, where should we be looking at, what types of reports in Search Console, but also Merchant Center, where is that data actually going? One thing that I didn't know, for example, is you can see web forums is under web, which I didn't know that at all. I know the images, video, etc. But AI mode as well is under web, so very interesting stuff. And shopping under Merchant Center. So maybe blending that data in our reporting for e-commerce is important. So good tip. Also, the June core update, still volatility actually. They're not really. I don't really have a specific link to that, but I've been seeing post migration and volatility. The big thing here is there's some HCU, so helpful content update recoveries. We saw some sites 2023. Google updated or created and added a helpful content system. First, they created a separate system, then integrated into the main algorithm to try and find what content is helpful. And I think what's happening here is that a lot of those that were punished by it, and some of them seemingly were punished, even though they seem to have good quality, they're getting some recoveries, so that's really good. There's some AI overview impact, mainly because it still relies on Google search, so that volatility translates into AI mode and others. There's a tight connection there. Your money or your life volatility as well. So really, again, not going into details here for the sake of time, but if you want to get into the nitty-gritty of the June core update and what happened, there's a good article here. Also, a good article here from Andreas Voniatis explains how to get your content and brand recommended by AI and large language models. Again, a lot of articles and guides on this, right? And what he is, his main focus of this article is focusing on original insights. Saying something new is kind of the tagline of this article, which I think sometimes goes against other guides I've seen saying that LLMs kind of flatten out. They seem to take a lot of different things and then flatten out the information. So if you just take a model without searching on the web, it'll just flatten that information out and not really be very interesting. But again, what we're really interested in having visibility where it might be searching in Google, as we've learned that it does, or Bing, or any other place. And there, if it can synthesize like 100 results from a search engine, maybe it'll pick out what stands out, right? If you have 100 articles, like you search for a keyword, ChatGPT will do that, right? It will search for a keyword and then get 100 results. And then, well, what are the things I can kind of pick out here that are interesting? We've got the basic information synthesized, but anything I can add to make this more useful might come from your article because you stood out. You're the only one that has that information. You will get that referral, so to speak. That could be interesting. Again, a lot of this is testing. But if you don't even have that content, you won't have any visibility. So we still back to basic SEO work in many cases, right? But yeah, interesting article. I'm trying to take all of these with a grain of salt and testing myself and on our clients. But overall, it's, I think, an average of these kind of guides are good to look at. We also have another analysis, which is very interesting here from Ahrefs. They've got AI overviews. They've got data on what is AI content and what is not. So they've done a lot of interesting research or analysis based on that. But 76% of AI citations, AI overview citations, pulls from the top 10 pages, 9.5% between 11 and 100. And there's one here, 14% of pages cited in AI overviews do not rank in the SERPs. So that's really interesting. So have a look at this, the deep dive into these research. I find them highly interesting, especially for pitching and figuring out, well, what is the strategy? Where should we put our focus, etc. And then a final one here is quite ironic. Some person here did a test. It's on the Ahrefs blog, but I can't. Maybe let's give them a shout out here. Patrick Stocks. Oh well, there you go. Famous. He basically took AI mode's answer, and took that content and tried to make it rank in Google. You could copy it and then throw it on your blog or anything, and it wasn't good enough to get ranked. Which is super ironic that Google will say, this is a great result, great product, look what it can give you, boom. But then when you give it to Google again, it says nope. So there's a real discrepancy between Google's search algorithms, search results, and then the AI part. And we know they're linked, but Google has just not tweaked this well enough. And I don't think they're doing a good job. They're rushing these products out. They are not good. Lily Ray, follow her. She will post almost every day bad examples of AI views and AI mode, getting things wrong. Yeah, so rushing these products out is just not good. I think it's more of a stakeholder thing. It's to show that they're part of the AI race. But they don't really need to be. Like rearranging your search results with AI, that's smart. I love that. Don't just give me the answer because it's not good yet. And even if it is, give us some credit. We're writing it. We're doing the work here. There's an ecosystem that has a short balance, right? If you remove one animal from the ecosystem, well, the others die or dominate. And yeah, Google is still part of the DOJ lawsuits. There's other lawsuits coming against Google and things like that. So antitrust, anti-competition. So yeah, very interesting. But thank you for listening or watching. I will post these weekly. You've got links to all of these cool analysis articles, guides in the description, video description, links, summaries. You could almost copy paste it, send it to your clients. So I've done the job for you. Yeah, see you next week. Have a nice day and goodbye.